Why, hello there, chat. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Will. Hello, Buns. Hello, Nanreader. Hello, JK. Hello, Michael. Welcome, 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 welcome. How we all doing? Happy Friday. Speaking of turkey only being available once a year, which I was doing in the last stream, the only thing I could find tonight was ground turkey. Only thing. Couldn't find whole turkeys, couldn't find legs, couldn't find thighs, couldn't find breasts, couldn't find medallions, nothing but ground turkey. So while I wanted to have some solid hunks of turkey meat for this project, I had to settle for ground turkey. It's also National Toasted Marshmallow Day. And apparently America knows, because I had to go to a second store to find large size marshmallows. I debated doing that, Nanreader. I don't know if I'm going to or not. It's a lot of extra work instead of just putting the ground turkey in there after searing it nicely. Get out of here, autofocus. Go away, autofocus. Bye-bye. I sort of accomplished things today. Not nearly enough, though. That seems to be the story here lately with me. Back to not having enough power. Though my watch said I slept good last night and tonight. So I'm cheating in a couple of ways tonight, chat. First was sort of more of a cost one than just buying one of these is cheaper than getting the whole pack of graham crackers, and I inevitably have the graham crackers around and they disappear. So going with just getting the shell. Chat favorite there. Though I think chat mostly uses the emoji version. I'm sort of confused at the difference between emoji and emotes. What's the difference? Like half of the time it's used one, you use one, the other time they use the other, and I don't know which is the right one to use when. Oh, so Michael was being serious. I was thinking they were joking. Well, however you choose to communicate, thank you for hanging out with me. Cheers. Interesting. I guess Twitch calls them emotes. Let's see here. Let's start with heating our oven up here for this. Or do I have enough butter? Do I have backup butter? I don't have backup butter. Well, we're cutting it close on the butter tonight, chat. Forget to buy more. Oh, that was supposed to be melted anyways. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Quarter cup of veg oil. It is so much nicer in here tonight with a fan back on me. I decided to move it in position hoping it wouldn't bother the mic as much, and I haven't heard it at all. So if you hear the fan, low rumbling, weird noises and quiet in the background, let me know. Flame off on that and let that melt the rest of that on its own. Hold on to that for me, chat. You're welcome, Baker. They're sweet, Cosmic. I still have bread left over. Do I have any corn seal? I'm pulling all the tricks out tonight with this tonight, chat. I guess I could throw some honey in there too, but... I'm cheating on my crusts tonight. Heat's been off for a moment here. I didn't mention when I turned it off, but we just want to get these all nice and liquid without scorching them. If you want to do a double burner, you can if you want. Realizes he's still on the chef screen from toasting chop after doing half a dozen things. Just a hit more heat. All right. Ooh. Have a great one, Will. Hope your flight goes well. I wish you no screaming children on your airplane. I don't know which I prefer anymore. No, definitely aisle. Definitely aisle. Headspace. My head isn't. Especially if it's one of the smaller, lower clearance airplanes. Well, it depends on the airplane again with that too, because some of them, they're like plane and deplane from like the center or the back, depending on where you are too. Not that I'm any airline or airport expert. Alright, so there is our graham cracker and our chocolate. I am too, JK. One, it identifies that I'm not interested in waiting around for you. But two, it allows me to immediately stretch my legs, because most of the times I'm flying, it's a 3-4 plus hour flight. It's not one of these small little puddle jumper flights, and my legs want to move. There's a third reason for that, but to prevent people from trying to pull their luggage down on my head half of the time. That's the big one. Oh, can you just wait? No, I'm standing. The real problem with this is airlines, especially post-COVID, have realized that they can make money selling the space underneath their airplanes. And so now they're all doing computer calculations on how much each passenger is bringing and how much they're putting in the bottom. And then they charge you money to put stuff in the bottom now. And so that way, they get to sell the rest of the space to whatever, probably Amazon. Yeah, JK, I think pretty much anyone, unless you got one of those fancy cards that... bonuses. There's some people that get so into that, too. Like, there's people that have made a living telling people how to make a living doing it. But this is going to go over here on a pan with parchment, just in case our chocolate mixture decides it wants to bubble up over. I don't think it will, but possibly. Let's get back into Real food. Savory food. While we wait on... Oh, our oven is up to temp. I guess we can throw that in there. I'm going to throw that in the 350 degree oven for about 30 minutes. Make sure and cook through that egg. Yeah, first class is nice. I've only done that once or twice. But yeah, on first, chairs that actually fit. Actually, like, I mean, airline food is always going to be airline food, but like, the airline food in first class is better than like most of the food you'll find in the concourse. Though I could very much live without the fermented vegetable packets that I received on the way to China. Those were... But the major one, chat, that you should worry about on an airplane is water. Don't get fresh water on an airplane. At worst, get coffee on an airplane where it's been boiled. Buy a bottle or refill a bottle, whatever, sneak a bottle in, I don't care. One of the biggest and most common, I mean, you hear about all the maintenance issues with airlines. One of those is cleaning that water tank in the belly of the airplane. Hey, they can see me. What did I miss? I'm just now catching up on chat. I'm just now catching up on you, chat. I don't know why my water glass is on the desk. The most common interpretation that I see of crostini is a biased angle sliced piece of baguette that's been toasted into essentially a large flat crouton. I don't know what it is if you find something in the supermarket. That's what I'm talking about from like restaurant world. And the two don't seem to match all the time. Oh, the biscotti sticks. Yeah, it's a rarity that they serve people food in the standard cabin these days. Oops, there's the fan. Let's see if we can't kill that fan. There, that should be a little better. It doesn't really sound so much like a fan on stream, it's more like a low rumbling. No. I've had to learn a lot about audio to do this. Yeah, I was about 4 minutes late. I've got all sorts of problems with the bot still. We've remedied most of the lag and processing issues, but there's still issues with the bot. Surprised it's not reduction. Use up what I can of these. Oh, we got stock coming up soon. I can save, but I'm not using. Like, I know some music things. Like, I learned to play several instruments as a kid. But as far as like the audio stuff, like I was never in like a band or anything like that beyond like school band. But so I never got into audio cables or audio or learning what I can't even think of the words now, but they're like mystery power system. That you need for certain cables and phantom power, isn't it? This celery makes me sad because good celery is amazing. If it was brass and wasn't a trombone for the most part, I knew how to play it at one point. And the recorder. Clarinet's of wood. And I guess saxophone technically is brass, but it wasn't one of the ones I was thinking of. More music, saxophone music than clarinet music than I notice. Like, clarinet, you sort of have to be essentially orchestra. I mean, you can get some stuff, like, but saxophone, there's a lot more of, and I didn't set a timer, did I, chat? How long ago did I put that in? The other beautiful thing about doing this all in film is I was able to see it was roughly 16 minutes ago. Which means it's basically done. I wanted to give it another 10 minutes. Hot oil, hot pan. So what spices should I do in my turkey stew tonight, chat? I'm going to be adding those when I add the turkey in there, but what's in the oven? The s'mores pie without the marshmallows. Rosemary's a tough one because I don't think I have any rosemary in the house right now. I say that even though I have 2 rosemary bushes right outside my window right here. I actually bought those 6 months, a year ago, and I haven't gotten to trying those out to see if I like the flavor off of that specific rosemary. I bought them because I needed more plants in my yard, but yeah, let's just not get into the yard. It's still a complete mess. Cajuns on Sunday, JK. I'm going to make an etouffee-like dish and then turn that into a pie for Sunday's fun. Alright, we've got our sort of brownie going on here. I have a feeling that's going to be gooiness once we break into this. But we're not done. This is some S'mores pie. And we don't have marshmallows yet. Oh, I think I'm going to be set for dessert for a little bit with this. And so from here, I'm just going to be pushing the marshmallows down into our chocolate mixture. Standing up. Which this chocolate sugar mixture is still flexible. Got a baby marshmallow in there somehow. Oh no, it's not a baby marshmallow, it's a hunk out of that one got a hunk stolen out of it. Carrots going in with the onions and garlic. Bit of salt. Back to stacking marshmallows. Chat seems to know a lot more about college ball than I do. Buns, you seem to do like a pool every year, don't you? Yeah, I'm right there with you, Baker, as long as it doesn't involve a stick and a puck. Yeah, Buns, but what does Robin Hood have to do with sports? So that's going back into the oven for a little bit. Need to toast these mallows. Pushed my earbud back in my ear and turned off the music again. I would throw chat a marshmallow, but there's only 3 left. There's not enough to share. Flame off on that loveliness. I need a... How we just put it in the top? Yeah, I did that one year. No. Considering the money I put into that dinner, I getting some weird popping. I don't know if that's my earbud or it's actually the music. It's mostly a true story, Michael. That part. If you go to Vegas, check out the Mob Museum. And well, if you like that sort of stuff and you like casino, I mean, you have to sit there and check out the stuff and read, but it's a good visit. They have the original Valentine's Massacre wall. I say original like there's a fake one. Let's get that diaper out of there. Yeah, they know how to make money. Responding to Michael there. Oh, hey, is my pan not on? That pan should have been on a flame. That should have been cooking. Well, MGM also made a giant lion head that you could walk into, and did that not knowing that that's a sign of bad luck in Eastern cultures. That's why they now have a giant lion outside now instead of the entrance. But that was probably back in the days when they were trying to rename the the MGM and move to the new MGM because the old MGM sort of got a little smoky. Oh, I imagine it's amazing. Is it worth the price tag? I mean, I'm sure MSG knows how to put together a show. Nice buns. Not the cooking MSG, the sports MSG, Madison Square Garden, which I believe is the controlling party in the Sphere thing. Vegas is a weird world in business. Like, half of the casinos own the other casino's property or land or rights or, like, it is so weird. Like, I am certain that business classes are studying what's going on in Vegas. I would have said that Vegas was probably a near 100% transient town uh, until around 2008, with real estate stuff, and all of a sudden you had 101 people trying to flip properties in Vegas, and they built so many houses that they decided to have a shoe company there. Not enough. But now is the definitely have to watch it. Oh, actually, this can be more fun out of the oven than in the oven. Let's do this on the counter, where it's a bit more fun. No. I hate consistency in food. Standards in workplace are usually a good thing. That's one of the problems with Vegas, is Vegas think they're going to, you think you're going to some guest chef's, or, famous chef's restaurant in Vegas, or Martha Stewart's place or whatever, and then you realize, oh, everything in Vegas is union run. Let's go over on the cutting board for this. You see somewhere that needs some more, chat? I don't want to completely cook this turkey to death. It's going to be able to cook some longer, so I'm not too worried about some of that still being pink in the... What are you looking at? Oh, look over here, camera. So, these turkey I'm going to put with the veggies for now. Brandad. I like brandad, but I like mashed potatoes. Yeah, that's been in the works for quite a while, Michael. Those marshmallows sort of flopped over. They expanded and expanded. So like the like metal rim that's supposed to hold on to our plastic cover. I don't think I'm going to be able to cheat and use the plastic cover to store this one. I suspect that Beetlejuice will be like, it might be fun, but just like my opinion of, well, let's put it right there with The Matrix. The Matrix, the most recent Matrix, the fourth one, was a decent movie. It was enjoyable from my perspective. It was fun how they did a tie-in with the past, but it was also extremely formulaic. It was very much, designed and planned, and having these people pop up is gonna get us views on these past movies, and it's gonna help these streaming items, and redoing these movies like Beetlejuice is gonna obviously get the original Beetlejuice tons of views. Man, was his comeback as Batman worthwhile? I didn't see it, I don't know. '89 Batman was not a bad Batman movie. At the time, yeah. In past, yeah. Much better. There's 2 packages of them. Why are they in one wrapper? I hate things that do that, you know. They assume so much that you're going to use all of it that... Did you want them to be crumbly? That's an important thing to ask when... Because sometimes crumbly cookies are amazing. No, Arnold as Freeze was not a good Batman movie. As far as I'm concerned, when it comes to Batman, and I have not seen a lot of the newer stuff with Batman, but 89 Batman, animated series, Adam West, all amazing. Yeah, sorry, I'm just getting parched puff pastry out of the refrigerator. It was in a container. Yeah, JK. Yeah. And then after 89, they took quite a dive. They got pretty bad. And then you got into the Dark Knight and they started getting better. There was things about the Dark Knight one that I didn't like as much as I think everyone else did. Like, decent movie, decent plot line, cannot stand the Batmobile, cannot stand several things about that movie. Yeah, the Joker sequel is gonna have, what's her name, the singer who wears meat dresses. Yeah, Lady Gaga. No, I think some of the X-Men stuff, I haven't watched, I certainly haven't watched all of the Marvel World. I haven't watched a good portion of the Marvel World movies, but you want to talk about formulaic. But, both I would say Deadpool and some of the X-Men movies are very approachable. I have not seen the new one. I'm on the fence whether I want to go and see the new one. If you notice, Chad, our marshmallows are deflating now. They're starting to droop. This one's straight up sagging. Do we like sagging marshmallows, Trot? Let me use the last of my chicken stock tonight, chat. I agree, Michael. People are disgusting. Oh, you meant the candy. Peeps, I think, have gotten worse in time, too. But I think more in the fact that they make so many of them now, and they're like stale compared to the old ones. Dr. Pepper Peeps. Yeah, we're getting into flavored Peeps now, aren't we? Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm not a big Dr. Pepper fan myself. Apparently some of the new flavors they've had have been amazing though, but I haven't. Like, all the sodas are doing like weird flavors to get people to try them these days. And it's like, I think there was a Pepsi Peeps mashup. Chat, I have no idea how I'm going to make a slice of this and not be a complete disaster. Like, this is probably harder to cut than cheesecake, and I told you all how much I love cutting cheesecake last stream. Yeah, I'm against diet or replacement sugars for the most part. Because if you're someone that eats lots of sugars elsewhere, those artificial sugars just get your body looking for sugars that it wouldn't normally consume otherwise. That's the whole thing, Buns. Like, just sign up for 1 month and then you can cancel it immediately upon doing it. I'm not trying to get people into my Patreon. I'm perfectly happy if you just sub for the 1 month and then cancel your payment, and I'll get you out a patch. Using Patreon was just the easiest way for me to do like an online store without like adding another service or paying someone more. Well, these ones, as they'll arrive in plastic like this, so individually plastic sealed. It's got a peelable stickable back to it. But if you want to get adventurous and use it like an old school patch, you want to sew it onto something or you want to iron it onto something, you can take a pair of scissors and easily remove. This is just a paper backing with some sticking on it. If you carefully do it, you can take it off with a pair of scissors and then either add iron-on tape or sew it on yourself. I wouldn't suggest trying the iron-on tape without removing the paper backing. Just because I don't know how the heat's going to react with whatever adhesive is on there already. Actually, I kept that too. That's what the backing is. I've got the two pieces that I tore apart off, but it's just like a sticky paper. Melt already stock. Not really, they can see me. I mean, I don't do a lot of restaurant eating, but I went out a couple of times a couple months ago, and I was complaining about it then. I was looking at fancy recipes to go out one or twice around my birthday, and just every single one, fried chicken, they were all of the sit-down places, the small sit-down independent places that I saw here in Sonoma were either a little too hard to get into. I wasn't going to go into the fancy places in Healdsburg or Glen Ellen or Sonoma, but Santa Rosa, Petaluma, all the rest of them were all basically the same formulaic 5 to 7 dishes. And it's do you want their fried chicken or their fried chicken? And that's here in Sonoma, where we have so much available. We have so much that can be seasonal, and I know a lot of I feel the availability and quality of produce and things like the farmers markets and small businesses that operate out of the farmers markets have been essentially in nothing but decline since about the time I moved out here, or at least since the time Whole Foods got snapped up. But we used to have I remember several restaurants. Well, I'm laughing. They had fried chicken too. Then again, you look at all the small cities, and I'm trying to think of the smaller cities in Sonoma. I think basically all they have is burgers and pizza. There's one diner that I saw today actually out driving that reminded me. That's probably the only diner I can think of in the county that still exists. I went out and got heat sealable bags today, Chad. And I'm going to make up cookies for TwitchCon and hand out cookies. I thought up of another cool idea, but I'm like, how much money do I want to sink into this? Because the other idea is I really want to do the other idea. I think it would be an amazing thing to pass around, and I think a lot of people would use it. It's not even that big of an expense either, because I can make them. Alright, we're going to start an oil roux over here since I just don't seem to have a lot of butter here tonight. Oops, that was the wrong button. I would say we have a lot more small fine dining spaces here because of the whole wine tourism thing. Like, we have a whole bunch of small, like, I'm not even counting, like, it's almost hard to find the info on the vineyards because the vast majority of the vineyards all have little, like, restaurant spaces too. At least the big ones. The KJ's and the Star Wars producers. Cheese platters are common here, but at the same time, I also don't see the fine dining places. Well, we also have all sorts of fine dining when it comes to all sorts of liquor. All sorts of liquor. It's all about the types of grapes. Very few wines are truly just a single grape. If they are, they're typically a more expensive wine. Vast majority have a percentage of something else. mixed in there, and so it's, you know, they'll have, you know, the thing that's 15% here is the majority there, and I would argue that in Williamette's favor up in Oregon and Washington, that's our future. Like with the heat, like all of these vineyards are going to have to move north. This is not going to remain wine country my entire life, I don't think. Depending on, you know, when I decide to check out. Or when the world decides I should check out. Alright, we've got this lovely, somewhat thickened roux mixture with chicken stock as our base. Let that cook just a little bit longer. This is a coffee about, or this is a song about coffee. Said that in reverse. Darn dyslexia. I'm toying around with the dough over here, trying to turn it into some sort of pattern here. Just because I got extra dough from it not being being a square instead of circle. Peas, frozen peas. Our meat and veggies from before. Coffee is a very complicated subject for being a very simple thing. Actually, it's not even a very simple thing. So we're going to bring our oven up to 400 degrees now. And we're going to turn off the heat here on our turkey stew. I'm going to take a couple photos of my deflated s'mores pie. Okay, moving marshmallows out of the scene here. And moving this over here. A little lighter on the pepper than usual. Was he doing it with... Depends on the crust. I've done pies that way that turned out alright. But you have to do more like a pie crust. Or a lard crust. If you're doing like puff pastry, where there's a ton of butter. I mean, there's a lot of butter in all of it. Especially if it's French, but... heavy hit of paprika here. Time. dill. Going sort of light with this. Hi, Drew. Guess there's nothing left in my parsley bottle. JK, I normally make my own sort of mixture of salt. I'll buy one of the standard 3-pound boxes of kosher salt at a good deal. Find something on sale, that sort of a thing. And then there's a brand called Real Salt. But Real Salt is really pricey. And so I will do 3 pounds typical. I'll do somewhere between 50% to a third real salt. Currently I'm just using straight real salt because I was too lazy. But now I've got a whole bunch of... I say lazy, but it was because I didn't have the other kosher, cheap kosher salt in the house. Now I've got like 4 or 5 boxes of Morton's Kosher. Yeah, we're doing pies all week here, Drew. Buns, one of the viewers here, one of my mods, suggested use channel points to suggest a weekly theme. I wouldn't these days use pink Himalayan unless it's for like show, like you're putting salt in front of someone or something like that. I don't think it's worth a higher price point unless you're using it to show, because it's pretty, it's pink. Primarily I just want a real sea salt. I just don't want to pay for a real sea salt. Like, no, I'm not a salt hoarder. They can see me. That was the result of Amazon Prime Day, and there was a decent sale on salt, and so I bought a lot of salt because it's not going to go bad. It's been sitting around for how many years? How many million years? At least how many thousands of years? Don't tell me that it was made from salt pools that... We're getting there, chat. I'm letting this cool down a little bit more. I also have, my mom gave me a long time ago one of these Himalayan salt blocks that you're supposed to be able to cook on and serve stuff on. Just makes everything too salty to me. And that's me, Mr. Salt and everything. It makes everything too salty. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to throw in here. I'm going to do a touch of cayenne. But at the same time, that's enough salt for probably, it's probably 3 to 4 years of salt. Some green onion would have been nice in this too. Quit sticking to the non-stick paper. Don't want to stretch this too much. Just want to get it somewhat close to the corner here, and then not much difference between bechamel and velouté. Yep, totally meant to spray dairy all over my keyboard. Way to go there, brush. Totally the brush's fault. Just like it's always Chad's fault. It's always the brush's fault. It's always the tool, not the handler. But what if the handler's a tool? Alright, going into the oven with this, 400 degrees. I'm actually going to crank it up to 425. Just because I don't trust this to be at a 400 these days. Dirty. That one's gonna go in the wash now. Had one of those, did you start recording in back moments? Or did you forget and just open OBS this again? Okay, chocolate. I feel you hardening up. Depends, are they cheap thin white? Or are they like chef whites? Like, when I was in college, combination, well, you do the initial normal wash, and if things weren't going to cut it with a normal wash, which is what happens, typically it's the metal staining or the oil, the burnt oil staining, or some combination of them, is what gets was always the issue that I couldn't get out of just using normal wash. And in that case, be careful what you're combining here. Do not create cyanide gas. But a combination of what I believe I used back then was powdered Cascade, dish soap, not laundry soap, dish soap, and OxyClean. Mix those up. The OxyClean creates all the bubbling. I mean, you could just use you don't have to use OxyClean. You can use the peroxide or. And the combination of the foaming and the dish soap, and I would soak it in there. I would leave it in there, like college student, leave it in there. Scramble just hates a head of broccoli. That, or maybe one of your shift, control, or alt keys is unexpectedly pressed down or stuck down. We'll see how this does with the store-bought puff pastry compared to the sort of biscuit or semi-folded. It isn't my old Blitz puff pastry recipe that I used to do for all sorts of stuff, but the dough that I did yesterday Wednesday versus tonight, we're doing them both in the pot. Hi, J Random. Welcome. Happy Friday. Happy weekend, everyone. Time to relax. Who's doing something interesting for the weekend? Who's going out hiking somewhere or something? Saw a joke the other day on Reddit, I think it was the boss complaining, you took an 8-hour smoke break? Yeah, boss, it was brisket. It was quick, he had to get back to work. Fireworks. I get in all sorts of trouble setting off fireworks here. You must be in one of those states like Ohio or Texas or Alaska where they haven't discovered wildfires yet. Well, Alaska's discovered wildfires. It's just typically not an issue for the people there because there's no one there. Yeah, Florida, that doesn't surprise me, yeah. What do you mean, what, Buns? Like, it's gotta have a barn somewhere advertising alcohol, fireworks, and firearms at the same place. All those Midwest states are the same. I think that's mostly a Louisiana thing, JK. Maybe Alabama? In both cases, they have weird laws on top of it. Oh, really? They have them in Ohio? New Orleans, JK, you can get yourself served a hurricane in a glass in your car, and what makes it legal is they still leave the paper on the straw. It's still got the straw enclosed. It's not open. I should, JK, but I just don't have a camera set up for really doing... Like, I can set up my phone outside, but I don't have anything really set up to set up my phone outside. I have in the past. It's been a couple of years. Like, it might have been back when I was on Mixer. Good evening, Shanovision. Welcome. Happy Friday to you. We're chilling. We got our Smores pie already out of the oven and flamed up a bit. Not quite breaking into that. I'm giving that as much time to cool as possible. And then I've got our turkey pot pie in the oven, baking right now. Made myself a delicious ground turkey stew. Covered that with some puff pastry. What did I use for chocolates? The center of this pie is a chocolate filling, not too unlike a brownie. It's a little bit like a sloppy brownie or a really, really like soft brownie. There's melted gutard chocolate, sugar, and egg, about a quarter cup of flour, so not a lot of flour. I've seen versions of this with like a custard chocolate in the center that looked good too. Yeah, that stew would have been amazing just over some rice or with some noodles or something, Michael, yeah. The banana bread ice cream sandwich. Well, I cut the banana bread too thick for it to be like a good sandwich. And the reality is with waiting here on stream, even with putting it in the freezer, it was a bit of a liquid mess by the time I got to it. However, the peanut butter ice cream and the bacon combo, oh, that was good. I suggested if you're a banana bread fan, you know, you do banana bread regularly. I wouldn't probably suggest it to someone make their own banana bread just for that. I also think it would probably do a little bit better plated almost a little bit more like a sundae with just like a hunk of the banana bread. Or crumbled. Or... Hi, Beautiful. Welcome back. I've been slacking on the walk, and I need to find myself a partner to go take over Taylor Mountain or something. Yes, there is a Taylor Mountain in Sonoma. No, it has nothing to do with me. I'm going to take a peek at our pot pie here and see what we got. We got a mess. I'm going to give that another 7 minutes. Your team no nuts and banana bread and brownies. What do you want nuts in, JK? I think I prefer mine candied. It may be the only thing that would draw me back into a Whole Foods these days, post Amazon acquisition, is the honey roasted peanut butter. The machines that they have there, even though, like, yeah. That's a good one, Beautiful. Or if anyone does like the chai make ahead ones or make ahead oats, that's probably a great one for any of the make ahead grains. Anyone out there that does meal prep doing make ahead breakfasts like that? I've never gotten into that myself, but that seems like it'd be a fun project. American cheese and apples is pretty high up there on the comfort food list for me. Not on apple pie, but American cheese on apples. This whole cheese on the apple pie thing, I don't have a problem with. It's just a little too new for me. Thank you for the follow. American cheese and apple is a good combo, especially like melted. Yeah. Trying to remember what my mom used to always like. My mom used to always take, like when I was really young. Like, this is something that stopped when I got older, but when I was really young, it was apple slices with cheese melted over them, and I'm forgetting what it was on. And most people, when they're putting the cheese on apple pie, I've heard cheddar more than American when it comes to that. Though American melts much better than cheddar if you're using proper cheeses. Maybe it was the apple that was... Maybe there was something like ham under the cheese or something. I don't know. That's an interesting concept, head of broccoli. I haven't heard of that one. Mostly when I hear, like, I'm sure people are doing all sorts of stuff now, but when I first heard the whole cheese and apple pie thing, it was you take a slice of cheese of apple pie, like a leftover Thanksgiving apple pie, and you put a slice of cheese on it, you melted it in the microwave, warmed the whole thing up together. Which, to begin with, I'm not a huge fan of microwave pie, but beside that, cheddar goes well with sweet stuff. It's one of those savory things that goes well. Like, you have all the Chicago caramel and cheddar popcorns and all that. Hollandaise was all the rage, and it had to have been. Like, I wasn't around for the 70s, but Hollandaise had to be like all the rage in the 70s, because like 60s, 70s, it's either the vegetables were in Jello or they were with Hollandaise. It was much more successful in its poofing over here than over here. The liquid got on top of it too quick and kept it from... That looks like a delicious turkey sauce though, doesn't it, chat? That looks yummy. Here's the 10 simple hacks for your home song. Why did it lactose? I don't know. Why did it send that? Silly computers doing all these weird things. Yep, graham cracker crust. Purchased graham cracker crust. Mostly just made the chocolate filling and toasted the marshmallows with this. If you want to see a side angle there, what we got going on there. Maybe a little angle cam action. Oh hey, we could turn the camera on. Came out cleaner than I expected. Yeah, I sort of expected the first one to be a complete mess and maybe make the second one into a decent one. That came out, oh, sorry. That came out pretty cleanly. For a graham cracker crust, it always crumbles a little bit. But there we have dinner for National Toasted Marshmallow Night. Thank you everyone for joining in with me tonight. I had fun with these dishes. This was fun. This was a little bit of a challenge because I was supposed to put more butter in that. I added corn syrup and a couple other things, and I think we turned out pretty well with that. Gonna do a Creole Cajun Bayou seafood etouffee pie on Sunday. I'm sure I've just offended a half dozen people all at once. But our plans for Sunday will be much more seafood, spicy, and roux based, even though we made a roux. And then I'm going to be doing roast chicken quesadillas on Monday. Going to be using up those thighs and legs that I got in the freezer. And then, yeah, roast chicken dinner coming up. We're doing chicken stuff here the week after, going into chicken stock next Sunday. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday. Doing it a long chicken stock stream. I hope you all have an amazing weekend. Have some fun. Go do something adventurous. Don't break a leg. Good night, everyone.